anything like me, you get a little frustrated or maybe a little triggered by politics. It could be politicians, it could be policies, it could be the cockamamie way that government seems to work. I think to myself, shouldn't a government of, by, and for the people operate for this people, for me? Doesn't really work that way. And today's political world overlaps with economics and society and culture and customs and religion and the environment. Where politics are concerned, emotions can run high and wide. So anyone's personal political unrest can break in a few different ways. You might just spin out in anger or frustration. You might bury your head in the sand. Or one might use it to transform, to do it in such a way that you become more active in politics, and to do it in a way that you become a sacred political activist. However, before you take to the streets with a torch and pitchfork, pause, take a breath, give yourself the benefit of time to process and glean the most from your pissosity, to quote Michael Beckwith. And I get that for some, the process includes criticizing yourself for getting triggered in the first place by something like politics. And that too is something worth pausing to process and glean. As part of your spiritual journey, it's okay to be triggered, and it's okay to be triggered by politics or the economy or society or religion or spirituality or anything in the surrounding world. Because at the very least, that emotional response means that some aspect of you is paying attention and that some aspect of you wants to feel better. It is powerful to have this kind of self-awareness, this kind of self-reference, especially around your emotions. Recognizing your emotions is a skill. It's a tool. It's a part of healing and growing consciousness. Whether before, during, or after, recognizing your emotions is powerful. And as you do, it's worth it to commend yourself for being consciously aware of emotions. It's a simple but powerful thing. Conscious awareness of your emotions is valuable to your spiritual practices. For example, you might journal your emotions. The journal points to something that needs shifting, healing, possibly affirming, possibly affirmative prayer. In simple, easy steps that transform your emotions into something positive and productive and constructive. I accept there are instances in which one appears to be at the effect of emotions. The emotions are free-flowing. They don't seem to have a cause or a trigger. They appear to be spontaneous or come out of nowhere. And at times, this kind of emotional runaway is a challenge in and of itself. Now remember, whether those are positive or negative emotions, even very strong emotions, they come in waves. And once that wave of emotion washes over you, and before the next wave, there are moments of calm and clarity. And those moments of calm and clarity are an opportunity to go a little deeper, to discover and learn something more about yourself. In the science of mind and spirit, emotions move you, they shift you, and they are an effect. And those emotions are caused by your thoughts and your feelings and your intuitions, your habits, your patterns, your beliefs. In those moments in which you are fully present, you choose to express your thoughts, feelings, and intuitions as emotions. In those not so present moments, your habits, your patterns, your beliefs are the cause of your emotions. As your emotions flow, and politics might be the inflamer of those emotions, there is an opportunity for personal healing and growth. As you process, heal, and integrate the ways in which politics may trigger you, You transform that energy, that power, that force for good into something positive and productive for yourself and for all those that your life touches. The actions you take then become a form of political activism that takes on the sacred. So the next part is how politics can be so powerfully transformative. What about politics are so powerfully transformative? Well, politics has stirred you up, and you've taken a moment to learn a little bit about your pissosity around politics. Please know you are not alone, and politics are part of nature. They're part of survival and community. Imagine, if you will, if you had to grow all your own food or make all your own clothes or build your own house. Humans innately know that collaboration, cooperation, communing, a healthy interdependency is essential to survive and thrive. Politics are part of all of nature. Humanity has always been striking this balance between the personal and the communal. Humans are continually balancing interdependency with autonomy. In those human groupings, whether it is beginning with the nuclear family to the extended family to a tribe or a village or a city or a country, all of those groupings naturally develop and evolve political structures and political systems. And it begins with your nuclear family. Throughout this entire earthly life, you are navigating local and city and state and national and world political systems. You and the political systems necessary for this human phase of your soul's journey then are continually going in and out of balance. They're swinging back and forth between the communal and the personal. And it looks to be that over the eons, humans appear to be doing really well. In addition to the emotions politics may trigger, it's natural to have a visceral reaction to politics, to feel it in the gut, to feel it in that lower half of your torso, in those areas that the Hindus and Buddhists refer to as those lower chakras or energy centers. It is in part because these energy centers relate to your survival and your autonomy, and those political systems infringe. They provide survival, but infringe on your autonomy. Power, then, is worth looking more into, because in the science of mind and spirit, it's often misunderstood and deserves some clarification. And power and force in metaphysics, I'm going to come back to this, is very similar to the way it works in physics. Most folks know about electrical power and mechanical power. Electrical power, plug something into the wall and electricity powers something. That's measured in watts commonly, and is the product of volts, which is a potential energy or force, multiplied times amps, or the rate of current flow. So volts times amps equals watts, and that's a measure of electrical power. Mechanical power is also measured in watts, but the more common one is horsepower. And horsepower is a force multiplied times the distance divided by time. And as I say, in metaphysics, it has a similar distinction between power and force. Any power, like your personal power, is the product of force, multiplying force, times how it is being activated, its activation. Power is force applied. At the deepest causal level, your personal power and the power folks give over to the communal, they all derive from one force within. And the one force that is within, it is also the same force that surrounds. And that force within and surrounding is living spirit. You are first and foremost living spirit. You appear in this human phase as an expression, an experience, an expansion of the love and light of living spirit. As politics gets your attention, as it stirs you up, it creates the opportunity for you to apply force. And you're going to apply that force with the intention to heal and grow consciousness. And as you heal and grow consciousness, you become more empowered to live a better life. You see how that works? The force applied empowers you to a better life. Ultimately, your healed consciousness around politics creates and completes a kind of a divine circuit in which you are a producer and a circulator of love power, of that one light and love of living spirit. When and as it arises, set the intention to transform politics into a facet of the one force for good that is within you. And it's that same force for good that is within everyone. And it's that same force for good that is in everything. And that one force, which is living spirit, is who you are at your essence. So next, I'm going to share a little about passion and you as a sacred political activist. Well, what is it about passion, and how does that relate to being a sacred political activist? When politics gets your attention, you pause, you learn, heal, and grow from your emotions. With the pause, you set an intention for transformation, to transform what appears at first to be an emotional reaction. You transform that into something that is constructive and positive. It is easy to confuse hot and cold running emotions with passion. There are differences. Hot and cold running emotions are rarely productive. And since one has yet to trace the cause of this type of hot and cold running emotion, to mix some metaphors, it's an emotional rebel without a cause. It's lots of sound and fury signifying nothing yet. And speaking from my experience, hot and cold running emotions are exhausting. And I say yet because the hot and cold running emotions would lead to a practice that uncovers and reveals its causes. Passion is different. Passion is conscious, and passion is consciously directed by you. Passion has meaning and value. Passion is energizing and refreshing. Passion arises from the length and depth and breadth of your entire being. Passion is rich with and a full spectrum of thoughts and feelings and intuition. And those thoughts and feelings and intuitions you choose to express as positive emotions. Passion and compassion are branches of the same tree. It is a tree rooted in living spirit, a tree of universal love, of infinite intelligence, and a tree of divine creativity. When triggered by politics, allow your emotions, pause to explore their origins, engage your spiritual practices, set an intention to balance your personal power with the good of the surrounding world. And as you do, you are poised and primed to be a sacred political activist. What is a sacred political activist? Sacred political activist recognizes and accepts personal responsibility. A sacred political activist is compassionate to oneself and others. A sacred political activist balances personal choice with the good of the community. A sacred political activist balances personal power with power devoted to the community. A sacred political activist esteems all individuals and esteems the community. A sacred political activist intends to heal any harmful, negative, destructive mentalities, whether those mentalities are your own thinking or the thinking of the world around you. A sacred political activist then reviews and revises and replaces the thinking of the surrounding world in a direction towards personal and collective good, in a direction of the betterment of all people. Whether you vote or write an op-ed or engage in social media or communicate with your political leader or contribute to a campaign or peacefully protest or run for office or serve in office, as a sacred political activist, you act with love, peace, joy, and compassion, all from that one power, that one force common to you and all beings everywhere, that one force of living spirit. As a sacred political activist, you are a high tide of living spirit that lifts all ships. I know and trust you are loving, lovable, and loved. Enjoy this day. Until next time, farewell. Thanks for tuning in to the Vida Spiritual Connection. Please use the links in the description to request prayer, to donate to Vida Spiritual Learning Center, and to join the Vida mail list. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And for more information, visit our website at vidaslc.org.